Your word on the mothership is today you're looking at the chorus effect. Maybe you want to use it to make some crazy voices like this, or maybe not so much, but we're going to take a look at it today and see what it can do and see if it's something that might be for you.
What's happening, guys? We are back for another video on the channel. We are moving ahead in our audio series here. Before you know, we're going to have the whole set done here, but I think we've got about 5 more to go. So today we're talking about the chorus effect. Now this is one of those things you may not use that often. Matter of fact, you probably won't. But when you need it and you're looking for a specific sound, it might come in handy. Generally, you're going to be using these things, at least in my mind, on some kind of instrument like a guitar, maybe a bass or something like that. That's where I think you're primarily going to be using the chorus effect. But you can use it on a voice if you want to, and it's going to kind of help thicken and widen that sound a little bit. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called Wide Dialogue. So it just kind of makes the sound a little bit bigger. Almost sounds like a little echo in there. Just kind of makes the voice not sound, dead. It just gives a little space to it, I'm going to say.
Or I can throw on something like this. It's going to make it sound very different, weird, distorted, maybe like an alien. Depends on how you play with these settings. But if you're looking for something like this, you can do it with the chorus effect here.
But if you're kind of like me and you think of chorus as more of like an instrument effect, I had to call on my dad here to ask him, hey, where do I hear a chorus effect? He's a guitar player, and I thought, where can I get a good example to kind of show you guys what a chorus effect sounds like on an instrument like a guitar? And he had a great example of like a lot of the 80s hair bands. You're talking like Def Leppard, you're talking Van Halen, guys like that. A lot of those guys use the chorus effect on their guitars. But I can't play any of those clips here because I might get flagged for using copyrighted music. So anyway, I do have a sample that my dad was nice enough to provide for us here. So here is a guitar without any chorus effect applied to it, and then we're gonna hear what it sounds like with the chorus effect on there. So let's roll that first guitar clip with no effect on it, no chorus. Roll that clip. And now let's go ahead and apply the chorus effect. Now granted, this is not the DaVinci Resolve chorus. This is just a general chorus that he's got on one of his pedal boards. So it's not exactly the same as we have in Resolve, but you're going to get the idea of what it sounds like. So go ahead and roll that tape. So now that you got an idea of what the chorus effect does, what it kind of sounds like, we're going to jump over into Resolve. I'm going to show you where you can find it, how you can add it onto a clip in the Edit tab, and then we're going to go through the whole thing in the Fairlight tab. Just like we do with our other audio effects videos, we're going to go through all the knobs, the buttons, the dials, and I'm going to explain them to you the best that I can. So let's head on over to Resolve and check this out. All right, so jumping into Resolve here, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my headphones because I always use my headphones when I do some audio work. So I think you should too if you got them. If not, don't worry about it. You'll be all right. But I'm going to go ahead and throw on these headphones. So we are in the edit page right here in DaVinci Resolve. Now, as with all of our effects, we can apply this effect onto a clip individually, or we can apply it on the entire track. So if you want to apply it on just a clip here in the edit page, you can go ahead and come on up to your effects library right here, open that up. Then you want to come on over to Fairlight effects right here. And then you want to take a look for our effect, which is the chorus effect, which is right up here at the top. So go ahead and click on that guy. You can just drag it and drop it on your clip. Now here's the chorus effect window. We're going to go over this in the Fairlight page, but this is how you can add it onto just one specific clip here in the edit page. You can also add it the same way to one specific clip in the Fairlight page as well. Just an option, depends on how you want to do it. But for now, I'm actually going to close this. I'm going to undo because I don't want the effect on the clip. I'm going to just apply it to the whole track. So now let's just jump on over into our favorite audio page, the Fairlight page. Go ahead and click on these little musical icons down here at the bottom of the page. That's going to bring you right on over into Fairlight. So the first thing we need to think about is how do we get this effect onto our track? Let's take a look here at DaVinci Resolve. If we want to add it onto our track, we're going to need our mixer open. If you don't see your mixer, come on up to the top of the screen here, click on this guy. It's going to open up your mixer. Down here in our mixer, we want to make sure we've got our effects shown here. Now, if you don't see your effects, go ahead and click on these 3 little dots. That's going to pop out a little screen here. Make sure you have effects checked on. Once you come back here, if you can't see it or it's just not looking like it's there, try scrolling with your mouse wheel a little bit up and down, and that's just going to move this area for you so you can see in case your effects is like this, you don't see it, you can scroll up and boom, there it is. So go ahead and click on the plus icon here. You want to come on down to Modulation, and we have Chorus. Go ahead and click on that. So here's our chorus window. There's a lot going on here, so let's run over all these knobs, buttons, and dials so you have an idea of what they do. Starting right at the top here, we've got our Reset All button. We also have these three little dots, which always give us the lock plugin window, as well as the preset manager. Moving down a little bit, here we've got a plus icon. That's going to allow you to add in a preset after you make any changes that you might like. There are a few presets in here that we're going to take a look at, and you can always save your own, as we just mentioned, but there's a few in here we're going to try, starting with this wide dialogue. And then I've just got a sample one that I created just for something kind of crazy and different, just to give you an idea of what this effect can do. These little arrows here are going to cycle through your different presets. We have the A/B button, which allows you to toggle between two different settings for this effect. You can try out one set of settings, click to B, change things, and try it again if you'd like. We've got a video on that. You can check that out, link above if you're interested. Moving down, we've got the bypass button, also known as the on-off button here. You can turn it off and turn the effect off. We're going to leave that on for right now. Next, we've got the import format here. And if we click this little drop down, you see you've got some different options here. So stereo lets you separate left and right channels. Mono puts everything together in one channel. Left gives you the left only, and right gives you the right only. Pretty self-explanatory there. On the right here, we've got our left and right channels, and we've got milliseconds down on the bottom here. So this is, what is the delay of the effect? How is the effect changing based on milliseconds, based on some of the things we're going to change down below? What does that look like? What is the delay times for the effect? And this is going to graphically show you what that looks like. And if you look real closely, it might be hard to see for you guys. But for example, one of these lines is blue here and one of these lines is green, because you notice our left channel is blue, our right channel is this greenish color, and they kind of mix together. And that's why they're going back and forth here. It's modulating back and forth. Even though we're not actually listening to the effect live yet on any particular clip, it's still active, and you can see kind of what it's doing here by shifting some of the sound of this particular channel. Over on this side over here, we've got an animated graph that's going to show us the results of the modulation that we picked based on, changing all these parameters and things down here. So you're going to see this change as we try different things, and just gives you an idea of what's going on with the effect. And last over here, we've got our output meter. Like so many of our effects, there's a chance you're going to lose a little bit of gain as you come out of the effect. So you can always boost it up a little bit at the end if you need to. This is just a way that you can keep an eye on that. So the next section we have here is delay. So all three of these dials work with delay, and what the delay does is tells us how the effect is going to react to our original clip. So we have the original clip, and we've got the chorus clip. So there's space between those two. So what is that delay? And that's what these three knobs allow us to adjust. So the first one here is delay time, and that's the length of the chorus. So if I make it a lot shorter, you can see our graphs at the top get a lot shorter, as well as our graph on the right here. You can see everything kind of gets a lot closer together. And if I want that delay time to be longer and I crank it up, you can see there's more space in between the modulations of the effect. And down here, we've got voice separation. And by adjusting this dial right here, it's going to change the time separation of the delay voices. And if we look at the next one with expansion here, by changing this dial, it's actually going to set right and left differences in the length of the modulation. It's kind of confusing, really. You just got to kind of play with this stuff to understand really what it does and how it works. I think that's the best way to go about it. But this is kind of what the explanation is of what these tools do. The next section we have here is modulation, and these affect the low frequency oscillator that drives the chorus effect in different ways. For example, down here we've got different waveforms. So what do we want the chorus effect to look like? And if you click through these guys, it's going to kind of change the way that the waveforms react to the modulation that you're putting through the effect here. And if we just start at the first one here, the first one is sine, which is smooth oscillations. The next one is triangle, which is sudden oscillations, which is going to just sound like things change a little bit quicker and more abrupter. The next two are saw 1 and saw 2. Now, these are jerky oscillations. It's going to sound like it's kind of getting thrown back and forth, a little more harsh than the first two options that you had there. The next one is the square here, and that's going to sound like hard stops in between the modulations. And you can see it kind of pauses just for a split second here on either end as it's going back and forth there. And the last one that we have here is completely random, variable. It's going to change, on its own. I guess it's got a mind of its own, you could say. It's just going to be random. So all these things are going to sound a little bit different. You really just have to play with them, try them out, and see what's working on your clip and what's going to give you the desired effect that you're looking for. So next we've got frequency. So frequency is the rate of the low frequency oscillations that control the chorus. So if you look at this and you just grab the dial and crank it up, You can see how much faster it moves as you crank this frequency up, right? Down is going to make it go slower. Up is going to make it go faster. And you'll see a little bit with the presets, you know, what's going on when we try those out in a minute here. And you could just double click any of these. Remember to reset them. For pitch, this is the amount of frequency modulation, which affects the chorus pitch. So you can see here, this little green bar here, you know, do you want less, you know, pitch going into it? Do you want more? And you're going to see how that affects it in a minute here as well. The last one we have here is level, and that's going to affect the depth of the modulation that's going through the effect here. So if you have the levels turned way down like this, it's only going to allow that low frequency oscillator to affect the beginning part of the chorus effect. Whereas if you crank this guy all the way up, it's going to affect the entire chorus effect. Again, one of those things you're going to have to play with and try and see how it sounds. And you're going to see in the examples here in a minute. Next section up here we have is feedback. So how much feedback do you want going back into this effect that's just going to create the sound that you're looking for? So the amount here is the percentage of the signal that's sent back into the effect. Anything from minus 99 up to positive 99. Below that, we have blend, and blend is going to say how much of this signal do I want to blend from one channel to the other. Do I want to blend it from the left to the right? Do I not want to blend it at all? I don't know. You got to try it out and see what you think works best for your clip. And the last section here, we have our output. Again, we've got our wet and dry mix, and remember, wet and dry mix means how much of the effect is getting applied on our track in this case. So 0% or all the way dry means it's not applying any of the effect, and 100% wet means that the entire effect is getting applied to the track. Full force, it's going all in. And lastly, down here, we've got our levels. You can crank up your levels a little bit if you're losing some of your gain after the signal's coming out of the effect. And we would be able to tell that by looking at our meter here or looking at the meters in our mixer. All right, so that's an overview of the effect, the knobs, the buttons, the dials. And if it sounds like a little bit of a foreign language to you, no worries. There's a lot going on there. A lot of it's probably deeper than you'll ever need to know about. But let's get into it here. We're just going to try some of the presets here so you can see how it sounds. And maybe we'll turn a few dials here and see what kind of changes happen when we try different things. Let's check it out. So we're on track 1 here, and that's where we're going to be listening to this effect. So I want to loop this guy, make it nice and easy for us. I'm going to use my selector. Select my range, come up here, hit my loop, and then I'm going to use Option or Alt / to loop this. So let's just start out with one of our presets here. I want to go with the wide dialogue. So this is going to make our dialogue just sound a little bit wider. So let me turn the chorus effect off, and when we get halfway through this clip, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called wide dialogue. So it just kind of makes the sound a little bit bigger. Almost sounds like a little echo in there. Just kind of makes the voice not sound, you know, dead. It just gives a little space to it, I'm going to say. And if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called wide dialogue. So it just kind of makes, so you can see, I think that sounded pretty good. It just added a little bit more presence, a little more body, a little more spatial sound to the voice a little bit. Not too bad, right? I think that works out pretty good. But now if we get a little more extreme with it, let's jump into the next example here and just kind of see how that sounds. So let's go ahead and change this to this sample one preset that I just kind of tweaked a bunch of stuff until it sounded a little crazy. So let's play through this. We'll start with the effect off, then we'll turn it on. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called wide dialogue. So it just kind of makes the sound a little bit bigger. Almost sounds like a little echo in there. Just kind of makes the voice not sound. So what you guys think about that? Leave a comment down below. I'm curious what you think. So if you're looking for that like alien kind of voice, that's maybe one way that you can do it. You know, if you want some distorted kind of strange sounding voice, this might be a good option of how you can accomplish that using the chorus effect here. So now real quick, what I want to do is just play through this again. I'm going to use the crazy effect there, but I'm going to change some of the knobs and dials just so you can see what some of these things do a little bit. So let's jump back in here and try that out. So again, I'm going to loop it and I'm just going to play through. We'll leave this effect on and then I'm going to just change a few things and see if you can hear a difference in what's being changed here. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called wide dialogue. So it just kind of makes the sound a little bit bigger. Almost sounds like a little echo in there. Just kind of makes the voice not sound, you know, dead. It just gives a little space to it, I'm going to say. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called wide dialogue. So it just kind of makes the sound a little bit bigger. Almost sounds like a little echo in there. Just kind of makes the voice not sound, you know, dead. It just gives a little space to it, I'm going to say. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called wide dialogue. So it just kind of makes the sound a little bit bigger. almost sounds like a little echo in there. It just kind of makes the voice not sound, dead. It just gives a little space to it, I'm going to say. But if I go ahead and turn it on right now, I'm using a preset here they have in Resolve called Wide Dialogue. So it just kind of makes this sound a little bit bigger. Almost sounds like a little echo in there. It just kind of makes the voice not sound, dead. It just gives a little space to it, I'm going to say. So there you go. That is a bunch of like weird kind of sounds you can make. I mean, again, I think you would use this effect on dialogue mostly if you're going with like kind of something distorted and you got, some kind of voice in your mind that you want to make. Maybe it's like an alien kind of voice or something like that. We definitely had something kind of like that going on there, right? But I really did like that wide dialogue one. I thought it just did a good job of just kind of making the voice fill the space a little bit better, I thought that was kind of cool. Hey, maybe I'll try using it on a video, just for the heck of it, right? Why not, right? But you can get similar sounds from other effects, things like reverb, maybe a little delay, maybe some of the other effects in there. You just got to tweak them and really find, what's going to work best on your particular clip and what sound are you going for? Are you going for something that's a little crazy? Going for just a little bit of, fullness to bring out the voice a little bit? I don't know. My goal here is really just to give you guys a little understanding of what these effects can do so that when you come to a project and you're like, oh man, I don't know, I gotta do something with this. You're like, hey, I remember that video that Jay made. Let me go back and check that out. Maybe I can use one of these cool audio effects here. Because the more you know and the more experience you've had, the better chance that you're going to be able to come up with some cool ideas on a project you might be working on, Hey, you never know, right? So I hope you guys found this video a little bit helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me. If you want to see more videos in this audio series, click up here, check those out, and see what YouTube recommends down there for you. But thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Oh, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
This is so silly. Gosh, I love doing stupid stuff in my videos. It's great.